Hey guys, I'm Jade. Today is my LeetCode review vlog on the 57th problem. Insert interval. We are given an array of non-overlapping intervals, and intervals is sorted in ascending order by start. We are also given an interval called new interval. We have to insert new interval into the intervals such that intervals is still sorted in ascending order by start, and intervals still does not have any overlapping intervals. And finally, we just return intervals after the insertion. Let's see example 1 here to understand it easily. We got input intervals 1 to 3, 6 to 9, and we have to insert a new interval 2 to 5. And we can see we can merge 1 to 3 and 2 to 5. So our output is 1 to 5, 6 to 9. Then, let's get started with our intuition to solve the problem. Oops. So, we can iterate through the sorted intervals and compare each interval with a new interval to add it or merge it. There are several steps to consider, so we'll call it 3 steps. The first step, if the current interval ends before the new interval starts, we can just add it directly to the result list. And for the second step, if there are an overlap between the current interval and the new interval, we need to merge them by updating the start and the end points of the new interval accordingly. And for the third step, if the current interval starts after the new interval ends, we can add the new interval to the result list and then add the remaining intervals. Then let's get started with the code and very detailed explanation. So the very first step, we have to create a list, and let's call it results and assign a new array list to it. Next, we'll create a variable. Let's call it I, which means the iteration pointer started at 0. And for the third step, we will add all the intervals that end before the start of the new interval. The code is while I is less than intervals dot length and intervals of I of 1, which is the endpoint, is less than new interval of 0, which is the start point. In this case, we just add intervals of I to the result list and increment I iteration. And for next step, which means there are overlapping between the current interval and the new interval, so we have to merge it. And the code is while I is less than intervals.length and intervals of I of 0 is less than or equal to new interval of 1. In this case, we have to adjust the start and end point of the new interval to include the current interval. First, we can update the interval of 0 first, which is the start point. We have to take the minimum number between max.min of new interval of 0 and intervals of I of 0. We have to take the smaller one, and we also have to update new interval of 1, which is the endpoint. And the code is we'll use the math.max method, new interval of 1 and intervals of I of 1. Then we have to increment I. Oops, I forgot a semicolon. And for the next step, we'll have to add the merged interval to the result and to consider all the remaining intervals. First step, we have to add it to the result list. Add the new interval. And for the last step, we have another while loop, which is I is less than interval stop length. We just simply add those remaining intervals to the result list as they don't overlap. And the code is very simple, which is result.add the intervals of I, and we have to increment I. And out of the third while loop, we just return the result list, but we have to convert it to a two-dimensional interarray. And code is return result to array, which is new int, and the length is result.size. Then let's check the correctness and analyze the time and the space complexity. So for the time complexity, the algorithm traverses the list of intervals only once. So the overall time complexity, it is big O of n. Big O of n. And n stands for the number of intervals. And for the space complexity, it is also big O of n, because in the worst case, which will contain all the intervals plus one new interval. So the overall time and space complexity are both big O of n. And thank you guys for watching. This is my LeetCode review vlog on the insert interval problem. And I really recommend you guys to visit my online GitHub page here. You can see all the notes on this website for all the top 150 LeetCode quick review notes. For example, I'll update this article later. And you can also visit my GitHub repository here, which contains the code and notes to build the online GitHub page. For example, the insert interval problem notes is here. Let me open it. On the interval folder, you can see all the problem description, intuition, Java code with annotations, and the final complexity analysis. And I'll put those two links on my YouTube description below. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.